Welcome back to Phoenix Forge. Thank you very much for joining us here again in the workshop. Now, it's been a busy couple of weeks. Last vlog I put up, I did say that we'd show you some site fitting from a couple of weeks ago, where we were out fitting our oak leaf gate that I'd spent a couple of months working on. And that didn't exactly go according to plan. So, unbeknownst to us and the client, the builder who'd laid the concrete path that we were fitting on didn't dig a trench when he laid a water pipe. Now, I had to obviously fit the top journal for the gate to hang off, and fit a ground socket for the bottom bearings to sit in. So I was only drilling in the ground about 70 mil, 3 inches or so, and I got into that. We started core drilling. Everything was going fine. I was there going, this is going to be a 2, maybe a 3 hour site fit max. We'll be back in the workshop by lunchtime. I can have a coffee. Yeah. 10 minutes after that, I core drilled straight through a water pipe. Turns out it was the mains for the cottage. So that didn't go down too well with the client, as you'd imagine. So our 3 hour site fit turned into a sort of 5 hour site fit, because I then had to excavate the bloody water pipe, discovering it was 2 inches below the surface, which was not where it's supposed to be. UK building regs, it's supposed to be 18 inches below the surface so it doesn't freeze. So I find the water pipe 2 inches below the surface, inside a concrete path, isn't where it should be. So the client saw the good side of it, the upside, called the plumber, got a plumber to come and fix the pipe. So I had to go back a couple of days later, obviously mix up some concrete and repair the path, as well as obviously then go back the following day after that, after the concrete is set, and actually hang the gate. So here's a couple of pictures or a little bit of video of that gate going up. So anyway, eventually we got that gate fitted and it turned out pretty nice. I was pretty pleased with the final results. Let us know what you think about that gate in the comments below. And a couple of weeks after that, obviously with those delays and stuff, we actually managed to get back and fit the railings up the stone staircase to go with that. So I've been working on that for a while, between vlogs and other bits and pieces, and the other videos we've been sticking up for YouTube. So we finally got that installed as well. So here's a little clip of that one. I was pretty pleased with the overall results. I was pretty chuffed with how those railings and that little gate came out. They obviously matched the big driveway gate that I stuck up last year on the channel. I might stick a link in the description to that if you haven't seen that video. All the metalwork that we've done on that property follows the same sort of oak leaf theme, and that runs through the gates, the railings, the driveway gate, and the few other bits and pieces as well. So it was quite nice to obviously keep that a running theme throughout the whole project. It doesn't happen too often that you get to go back and do extra pieces for clients, and sort of, you know, become part of the landscape, really, having your work be that much of a focal point of the property. So that was nice, that was good. As well as doing that, then what else have I been up to? So the other thing that happened, being February here in Wales, we've actually managed to have 2 100-year floods in the space of about 3 weeks. Now, they're supposed to be 100-year floods, but according to the news, we've had 4 in the last 3 years. So go figure that out. So unfortunately, Kristen, my apprentice, their house got completely flooded. They actually got evacuated by the local council, I think, or the police, one or the other. Came and took them out of their house because they had 6 foot of water downstairs, which was absolutely clean off. So they've actually had to abandon that house and move into some temporary accommodation. So that was a little bit wild. So they're busy sorting all that stuff out and obviously trying to rescue what they can rescue. The floodwaters went down pretty quick. But yeah, it was pretty bad in Carmarthenshire for floodwater. So aside from the flooding, we actually managed to get back out on site. We actually had the sun came out, so we've gone and fitted a couple of other jobs as well. Fitted those railings with the collars on that I was showing you a couple of weeks ago. And because of the sunny weather and getting all those jobs finished, it meant I've actually got some time now to start my next big project, which for me is a dragon sculpture. And as it's St. David's Day, there's no better time than to show you my current dragon sculpture. Dodge all the stuff in the workshop. So this is it as it stands. Obviously it hasn't got a head yet, hasn't got any scales either, that's to come. But there's the body all sort of fabricated, and I've just finished forging the legs and claws for this one, and the big bars for the wings as well. So they're ready to weld on this in the morning. A little bit of a sketch on my rock. So to show you the sort of scale of this, that rock is about 6 foot high, maybe a fraction under, weighs about a ton. My crane on the roof of the workshop was actually struggling to lift that up. So yeah, it's a bit of a lump of stone, that one. But I'm looking forward to hopefully tomorrow starting to put scales on this. I think it's probably going to use about 4,000 or 5,000 individual little scales to get me all the way up to the head, and then I've got about 1,000 or so smaller little dragon scales as well. So I'll record some of the process. I'm not filming all of it. It's just a little bit too time consuming, that one, filming this. I'm going to be working on it for probably about 4 weeks or so, I imagine. As well as that, my new toy arrived. So you might have seen this in the background a second ago. This is my CNC plasma cutter. I ordered this 4 or 5 months ago, and I was getting a bit worried. I was going, that guy I gave all that money to on the internet, did he just take my money and leg it? But eventually, the machine turned up. It did take me about 20 hours to actually assemble, do all the wiring, reline all the all the air lines for the forge. We had to run new ones for this that go through new filters. Came with a new air compressor as well, much bigger than my old ones. And I'm pretty impressed so far, although it's got a couple of niggles and I'm still trying to figure out how the software works. So I've only had a bit of a play and cut a couple of little bits and pieces out. There's a sign there, which for some reason the G-code didn't work, and it lifted the torch at the end before it finished cutting. So there's quite a bit I need to obviously figure out to get this machine up and running. But I'm hoping with this new machine that I can cut out things like those little oak leaves that I was using for that gate, cut out bits and pieces like that, and do it in a much more efficient way. So, you know, up until now, I've had everything I wanted to have laser cut or plasma cut. I've had to do the sketches, send them away to a laser cutters, you know, probably in Birmingham or somewhere similar, and then wait for them to obviously cut the damn stuff, send it back to me so that I can then use it in my project. Now, when I did that oak leaf driveway gate, they actually sent me the oak leaves, and they were the wrong bloody size. They were like twice the size they were supposed to be, which wasn't good for me, which meant then I had to wait another 3 weeks for the bloody things, the right ones, to come back so I could use them. So that caused me delay. So I'm hoping with this machine that I can obviously mitigate those. I'm going to be paying for this for about the next 6 bloody years because it cost me a bloody fortune. But I'm hoping that it can start paying its way and be a useful bit of kit for the workshop. There's a sign down here. I've been having a bit of a play, as I said. So there's a farm sign that I had a go at doing. Nice little chicken in there. And yeah, the 172 that I cut out of those as well. So that was a bit of fun. As I said, I've got a long way to go before I know all the ins and outs of this machine and can actually get it to start paying its way in the workshop. But it's a good bit of kit. It's a good toy. So in a few upcoming videos, obviously, we'll hopefully put it to use and make some interesting bits and pieces. So yeah, I'm hoping to sort of diversify a little bit. So obviously with all the COVID stuff going on, well, you know, I can't run my classes and other bits like that. So that's been really frustrating. It's been a big hit to the business, not being able to have people in the workshop on the weekends doing those classes. So I'm hoping that this machine will sort of open up some other doors and I'll be able to sort of get in some other little niches, maybe do some things like pub signs and business signs and house signs and stuff as well, and sort of broaden the sort of work that I can put out there. So that's my plan for the CNC plasma. I say it's a good bit of kit. I went for the full 8x4 because that's what a commercial piece of sheet steel comes in, and that seemed like the most sensible one for me rather than getting a 4x4 that the guy was trying to flog me because he had them in stock. But obviously if you get 4x4, then every single bit of sheet steel that I have in the workshop, I've got to cut in half before I can do anything with it. And if someone wants a 6-foot pub sign, you can't do it, not in one piece anyway. So that's the plan for that. And yeah, that should be an interesting thing to experiment with and play with. Already spoken to the tractor shop up the road, and they're after some brackets making for their fitting diggers onto post knockers and things. So yeah, hopefully it'll lead to some more work. Everything's a bit warm up this end of the workshop. The bad side of things over the last couple of weeks, my power hammer's died. So this is my obviously day-to-day hammer that I use, my little Tanard. And it started making a rattling noise, and I went, oh, what's that bloody rattling noise? That doesn't sound good. I looked down the side of the machine, and the bolts have obviously dropped out the motor, which in itself wouldn't be a big problem, apart from it sheared off the foot on that side, which you probably can't see because it's a little bit dark in there. So I actually need to strip this machine down, get that motor out of the damn thing, take the chain off, and probably make a new foot plate for the motor. So that's frustrating. And then my big power hammer, which I was hoping to use today, the old Onion, which is 90 years old-ish. I'm not sure where the date plate is. Oh, there it is. 1937 she was built. She's not running at the moment. She's not firing. So somewhere in Frankenstein's belly here, I can't open that any more than that. So there's the guts of Frankenstein. And yeah, she ain't firing on all cylinders. So this old girl's got a slip ring motor, which they only really use today, I think, in wind turbines, because they don't usually go wrong apart from the starter box. And I'm no electrical engineer, but it's all got a firing sequence and bring a whole load of things inside the motor to actually get it running up to its full capacity. It's basically a soft start for that motor, because that motor is an absolute monster. And I'm hoping that with a bit of cleaning and some oiling, we can get those things to actually fire, and I can actually use my bloody power hammer, because I don't like having a 2-ton paperweight in my workshop. It's not very handy. What else we got going on? So we've got a few other jobs to do. I've got some estate gates to make. So we've got the steel cut out for those. That's all on the floor ready to be hot punched and tenons forged on the ends. So that's a job for next week, hopefully. Holes to punch and rivet, so they'll be quite nice. We'll sort of record some of that as we go, get some of those bits and pieces up and running. But yeah, having broken 3 power hammers, 2 power hammers, the third one, the other power hammer, the little new one, that started giving me issues yesterday. Bloody tuck wasn't lifting, so you'll probably notice that in some of my videos, or the latest one, where I'm forging a sword, so keep your eyes peeled for that one. It's the tup. Doesn't lift. And they're going, well, bloody hell, the top lifting. I can't have 3 power hammers, they're all broken. But a little bit of WD-40, and if it worked out, it was just a bloody rusty spring on the side. It wasn't allowing it to actually, it wasn't allowing the pedal to kick all the way back up and fully close the valve and let the bloody top lift up. So a bit of WD-40, and we were back rocking and rolling, which was handy, because I was panicking a bit that I wasn't going to be able to get my job done today. So yeah. Other than that, that is pretty much all I've been up to, is obviously site fitting railings and gates and starting my Dragon. So I'm excited to make some headway with this Dragon. I've only had about 3 or 4 days on it so far. There's going to be a good few weeks of welding Dragon scales on, so it takes a little while to put 4,000 Dragon scales on a Dragon. But yeah, should look nice when it's finished, and then I've got to figure out how we're going to attach it to this pebble in the workshop, and then get it out as a site and get it fitted. So yeah, hope you guys have enjoyed this one, this little catch up. I hope to see you all soon. Let us know what you think in the comments below. Remember to click like and subscribe, and you can follow us on Instagram and whatnot, and we'll see you next time in the workshop. Cheers guys.